What up, Misfits? So if you've been watching my vlogs lately, you know that we've been talking about fear. And fear, you know, you can face it, you can accept it, you can fight it, you can embrace it, you can do all these things. But what is the greatest fear of all? What is keeping people from actually facing it, from actually accepting it, from actually going after it head on? And I think it's the biggest fear, possibly the biggest fear of all fears, the fear that's underneath your fear. And that is the fear of the unknown. So for those of you who don't know, I've been doing this little mini-series on fear, and there's two other parts. This is the third and final part. If you haven't seen the first two parts, I'll put a card up here to the first one, and I'll put a link down below to the second one, or just click on my channel, go check it out. So let's get to it. The first thing I talked about with fear was accepting the fear, not just facing the fear, because you can only do so much with facing the fear. You can look at it dead in the face, but that doesn't mean you're overcoming it. But accepting it, allowing that fear to just hit you, and then realizing how small that fear really is. But again, accepting it with the intent of overcoming it, not accepting it because you're terrified of it, because then the fear will just eat you alive. I talk about that in the second video that I did. In this third video, I want to talk about what happens when you accept your fear. Prior to that, you've overcome that fear of even approaching it and accepting it and facing it, whatever. What if I do all these things? What if I work hard to overcome my fears? What if I work hard to better my relationships, better my life, fight through, get past these fears, but I don't know what it's going to look like? I don't know what's on the other side. So what if I'm just doing all this and sacrificing all these things and changing my life for nothing? And I find that that is the most crippling part of addressing, accepting, and admitting your fears, is the fear of the unknown. What comes after? What if it's nothing? What if I'm doing all this work and it just amounts to absolutely nothing? So that's what I want to address today. And so whatever you're facing, whatever is going on in your life that you want to overcome these things, you want to face your fears, you want to get over depression, you want to get over addiction, you want to have better relationships, you have goals that you want to meet, you have dreams that you want to happen. If you're doing all this for those things and for what you will get out of it, you might be doing it for the wrong reasons. And let me explain. Yes, it's important to do all of these things and to better yourself and to get past all these things, and your life will inevitably be better. And I think that's the point that I'm making, is that it's not about what you're getting out of all of this and what you're putting into it and the sacrifices made and, you know, the surrendering and how painful it is. It's not about what you'll get out of it in the end. I 100% see this as it's the lessons that you're learning for not just you and the character that you'll develop out of this, but for other people. And I talked about this a little bit in the last video, but I think this is so incredibly important, that if our foundation for everything is based on selfishness, how far could you go with that? I mean, how far could, if everyone adopted that mindset that I'm just going to take care of me and I'm only addressing these things to take care of me? Imagine if everybody had that mentality. Everyone had that mentality. What would the world be like? What would, and I don't know. I personally don't think that would be a great world to live in, where everyone's foundation is just based off of selfishness. I think if you focus on being selfless, then learning these lessons, addressing these fears, and going through all this hard stuff, you know you're not just doing it for you. You're doing it for your friends, for your family, for your relationships. And that's really what matters, doesn't it? It's not so much what you do, but what matters is who you are and who you impact. And you might say, I don't impact anyone. I don't believe that. I just don't, because you have friends and family that look up to you, and you most definitely have an impact on their life. And if you don't believe that, maybe watch some of my other videos. But when you address these fears, and when you accept these fears, and when you take hold of them head on and focus on overcoming them, if you have it with the mentality that you're only doing it for you, then I think you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And when you're not doing it just for you, but for the people around you, you don't worry about the unknown. You don't even think about the unknown. You're happy about what it could bring and what it's going to bring, because there's promises and principles. But you know that if you do this, if you overcome this, that your story will speak to other people. And I think that is incredibly important when addressing the fear of the unknown when it comes to life. It is for other people because it is going to inspire them to do the same thing for themselves. And I think going off that mentality would actually create a better world around you than having a selfish mentality. And you can disagree with that all you want. That is my personal opinion. And getting to my second point in this video is with the fear of the unknown. How do you personally not just address it in your thoughts, but address it in your actions? And this is something I talk about in my video, The Truth About Your Depression. Is honestly, it's this simple and it's this difficult, is just keep going. Day by day, one step at a time. If you take this day and you make the most out of it, you face your fear, you accept it, and you just overcome it every single day, then just keep going. Just keep doing that. And then you will see what's on the other side. You will see that unknown come to light. I guarantee you it will not be the unknown for long if you continue to overcome, if you continue to accept, if you continue to fight. It won't be the unknown for long. Just keep going. It's that simple and it's that difficult, and that's really what I wanted to get across to you all. So if this video meant something to you and it changed your mindset, changed the way that you think, the way that you want to go about life, please leave a comment below. It means the world to me, your all's comments just telling me how my content has impacted you, and it's just incredible. It makes my day. It really, really does. It makes my day. So thank you for watching this little 3-part mini series on fear, and if you haven't seen the other 2, go ahead and check them out. And that's all I got for today. So I will see you misfits in my next video. Alright, peace.